I have a feeling like some of you are feeling or having this sense that you are in this place of limbo. And when I say that, it's like you're moving on, you're ascending, but at the same time, there are parts of you, there are parts of your shadow that you're going to start to realize that you haven't let go of. And for some of you, that part of the shadow is going to be the part of you that thinks like you have to work hard for everything. And and not just that you have to work hard for everything, because of course you have to work for what you get, but like the part of you that feels like it has to be hard, like making money has to be hard. And there's a part of you that's gonna get anxious when you start to realize that it's not hard. Like it's not work, right? As you step into your purpose, you're gonna realize it doesn't feel like work. And when it doesn't feel like work, you may be looking for things to make it feel like work. You may be looking to do things and make things harder, because we've been taught since we were little to work hard, that you have to work hard and you have to work harder than the other person, competition, right? And so we're even in school, like we're taught that we need to compete against others because we got to work harder, and so there's this level of, from the time that you're little, that you're living in fight or flight, right? Like, so you're either fighting because you got to compete to do better, or you got to compete for the better job, or you got to compete for that better position. What if, and then when you start to realize that you can just be you, that you can just sit in your energy, that you can be you and still be successful at being you. And it's kind of a bittersweet revelation, right? Because as you do that, there are people around you that are watching you, right? There's all kinds of talk all over, in the tarot community about spiritual warfare. And, I will, occasionally in my readings, I'll talk about conflict, right? And it comes up, but I don't like to sit in that energy, because at the end of the day, it becomes, it's up to us whether or not we want to sit in conflict. It's up to us to start to face our shadows, right? To see that, hey, I'm in fight or flight right now. Why? Because everything's good. Why am I going back to that? What's causing me to backtrack into that energy? Why is everything seemingly okay, but I'm feeling like I'm still feeling like I'm not doing enough, right? Things like that. And could there be like evil eye and all of that? Yes, there can be. There always will be. That's not going away. Jealousy, evil eye, all those things do not go away. The thing is that once you start to heal, the reason why you ended up here is because there were all of those things, right? And so, and maybe you didn't even realize it when you hopped on and you started looking to see like, what the hell is going on? Why does my life feel like it's falling apart? How do I get it back together? Why do I feel like I'm falling apart? And so, but what you start to realize as you heal more and more, the healing is not anything anybody else did, right? Before you get to the 10 of Pentacles, you get to the 9 of Pentacles. Before you get to the 10 of Cups, you get to the 9 of Cups. That's you doing the work. That's you doing the work. Getting to the 10 of Wands is, getting to that part where you're the things that you get to that part, that 10 of Wands, and you're like, I'm tired. I can't carry these burdens anymore for everybody else. And so, after doing that for so long and being taught that that's what you're supposed to do, you feel like fight or flight is normal. I had this message came up, and I just want to let you guys know today that it's okay to release that. It's okay to release that. It's okay to go get help to release that also. It's okay to go see a therapist to help you release it. It's okay if you need if you need conventional medicine to help you release that, right? To help settle down your brain, that part of your brain that goes into, that's in fight or flight, and work through it, and work through it and release it. Because when you stay in fight or flight, how are you, if you're in fight or flight mode, thinking like you still got to overwork yourself, right? As you have your blessings coming in, how are you going to enjoy those blessings? You're not even enjoying it, right? And the thing is that sometimes we feel guilty that we're getting justice, right? Because everybody told us in our life that we didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve justice. That people told you didn't deserve justice, that justice wasn't for you. And now that you're getting justice and you're seeing people around you, right, who have made a choice. It's a choice. They've made a choice to stay in fight or flight. They've made a choice not to look at their shadows, not to heal, not to ascend to a different place. And now you are. There might be a little bit of guilt that comes with that, right? And that's another part. You have to release the guilt. You have to release the guilt of, because everybody gets to do their own work. Look at this, the Empress. And prior to that, justice fell out, and I was like, okay, I have to come talk to you because you are getting justice. And the Queen of Pentacles was at the bottom of the deck. And let me get my glasses, because of course I can't see, guys. Never. And my glasses are dirty. Nice. Okay. Yeah. The justice is you, right? That's the justice. It says cause and effect on this card. I was just reading it real quick. Like, it's you. That it's you bringing balance to your life, because at the end of the day, no one can bring balance for you, right? The truth and clarity that you thought that you were going to get for somebody else, like somebody else was going to tell you the truth. It was like, no, like you woke up one day and it was like, I got to tell myself the truth about what's happening here. I got to tell myself the truth about the people that are around me. I have to tell myself the truth about what I'm doing. And you did that. You did that, right? And now you're ready to receive. But that doesn't mean that you are not feeling, this is fair. It doesn't mean that you won't find yourself in that place of having to release that false narrative of having to work so hard, right? Because the Empress is sitting on her throne. She doesn't get off her throne for anyone, right? And we keep hearing that, right? But you will have people trying to get you off your throne to do something else. And it's like, no, like you can work from your throne. You can do what you got to do right from your throne. And right now you are like, you're shining, like you're beautiful. You're having that glow up. Like people are looking at you and they're like, wait a minute. Like, is that Pisces? Is that the Pisces I know? And they may come, and you may have people that come around you that you're just like, no, you got to stay at a distance, because you trigger, they're not because they're bad, but they trigger your shadow, right? And when they trigger your shadow, yes, you have to look at yourself, but like, why would you want to be around somebody that just wants you to be in your shadow, that just wants to bring out that side of you all of the time? And and the thing is that you're gonna notice that. I was speaking of working hard all the time, I was talking to someone the other day, and they're a little bit older, and I was like, why don't you retire? And it's that mentality of working hard, and we have that mentality around us, right? And I think this goes back centuries. This goes back like ages, right? There was always a class of people that had to work, that were told they had to work hard. And there were people that were on their thrones while you work hard, while other people did the hard work and labored. And there's nothing wrong with doing good hard work. And I keep saying that. But at some point, right, when do you elevate? When is it okay to elevate? Do you always stay and do the hard work? Or do we find a way to elevate? And when we find a way, if we're after generations and generations of having this ingrained in your DNA that you have to work hard. When I say work hard, I'm talking about you are in fight or flight, but you don't even realize it because this is normalized. And after generations and generations, it's just ingrained in your DNA that that's what you're supposed to do. And of course, as you're making those changes and you're saying, no more, I don't want to do this. I want to build generational wealth. I want to live a different type of life. I'm changing my standard. I'm changing my beliefs. I'm changing these institutional beliefs that have been bestowed upon me through my DNA and through my generational line. Like, I don't want to do things that way anymore. Of course it's hard. And as you go through and as you continue to elevate, you're going to find yourself, you're going to have those moments where you're like, oh, shouldn't I be working harder? Shouldn't I be doing more? Isn't there more to do? And almost like you're gonna be feeling anxious, like that fight or flight response. And it's not anything anybody else is doing. It's because you feel that's what you should be doing. That's what's ingrained in you. So once you start to recognize that, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe some of you may need, it may be useful. I'm not a doctor, but talk to your doctor. If that's how you're feeling, talk to your doctor, go to your therapist, and get a little bit of help to push you through that, so you can see where, how much of what you're doing is necessary. Because let me tell you something. Let me give you an example for myself. So I work at a job where the hours are pretty much 8 to 4:30 if you want, right? You could start earlier, but between the hours of 8 and 3, like, you have to be in the office, but you have to work 8 hours, 8.5 hours, whatever, because you got to cover your lunch, right? And because I thought, like, it, martyrism, work hard, you gotta do more than the other person to get ahead. I spent like 8 years getting up, and because we were working from home, most of the time. At first we were in the office, but anyway, that I digress. It doesn't matter about that. But like, I spent like like 8 years getting up at 5:30 to log in to work. And then I found like I was still logged in till like 3:30 because you couldn't get off. So I'm like, I'm giving this place like extra hours. I don't get overtime. I'm salary, so I don't get overtime. And it just hit me one day. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Those 3 hours, those extra hours now that I have in the morning, I have to ground. I use it to ground myself. I use it to prepare for my day. I use it for my rituals. I use it, and my life has gotten so much better because of it, right? And by the way, I spent all those years doing all of that, and did I get a raise or did I get a promotion? I did not. So we have to really look and see what the return is on the investment that we're putting in, right? How hard do you have to work? Because if I want to get in and log in at 5:30 and do extra work, my company is going to take it. They're going to take it, right? And then at some point you do it so much and then it becomes expected. So it's like anything else in your life, right? And then when you stop now, you will find that people might try to take you back there, and you have to stand your ground. And sometimes that can feel stressful, like having to stand your ground and say, no, this is what I said and I mean it. This is the time I'm available. I'm available from 7 to 3:30, 8 to 4:30, whatever the hours are for you. And and just stick to that, because that's what they hired you for. But so many of us, they have us scared that you're going to lose your job if you don't do extra, but they don't want to pay you extra. Or like there's some type of benefit down the road that you're going to get if you do extra, and then you never get the benefits, but they get the benefit. What I'm saying is that you start to learn that you have to, part of that is on me, right? So I had to realize that, hey, if the energy is not that I'm putting out is not being reciprocated, then I need to pull back and I need to do something else. And that's part of our lesson. That's part of our lesson. Anyway, I hope that's making sense to you guys today. But yeah, just know that you're in this stage where you might feel a little weird. It might feel, if you're elevating, you've done the work, you're getting justice, that might feel weird. You're not used to getting justice, right? You've activated a different part of your DNA. I feel like that DNA activation. You're healing generational trauma, and people are they're side-eyeing you like, wait a minute. How like you're not like us anymore? Like, what happened to you? It just is what it is. Yeah, Page of Swords. This is your pause. This is think before you act, this card says. But what I see in this card is that there's this restless energy that you have. Like you're eager to move forward, but I'm feeling you're eager to move forward, but you're like, wait a minute, like this other part of me, do I leave it behind? Is it okay? Am I going to be okay if I'm not that person anymore? You're going to be fine. But think it through. Sit on your throne. You're the Empress. And just think it through. You know what to do. You have clarity. It's really interesting because we struggle so much, and this life has so much pleasure in it, and it's meant to be pleasurable. But with our minds, we take it and we turn it into something that it's not supposed to be, or we let other people steal our joy. No more, Pisces. No more letting people steal your joy. And no more stealing your own joy either, because sometimes that's what it is. Because when you're interacting with people, right? I just heard this the other day. Like if you are interacting with someone and you feel, after your interaction with them, like you feel drained, you feel weird, you feel confused. Or you notice that, things are going haywire, like there's arguments in your home, or there's like chaos all over the place, like in different places in your life. Then these are people you keep at a distance, and we understand that, right? Because that's all part of the whole spiritual warfare thing. But here's the thing about that: spiritual warfare, at the end of the day, comes down to how you interact with other people. How you manage your space, how you cleanse your space. So it's all, at the end of the day, it's about you managing yourself and your space. Because once you look at this, once the Fool and the Page of Cups, once you manage your space, it's not that people can't throw you the evil eye. It's not that people can't come and tell you, like, wait a minute, like, you need to work harder. People can say whatever they want to say, but you, once you do that, you're on a new journey. And that's what I felt like. I felt like a lot of you on this new journey, and it feels, maybe it's a little lonely. Maybe it feels a little weird because you're part of this journey is you getting justice, you getting the things that you never had before. And you have the Fool with the Page of Cups on this journey. Listen, your intuition is on point. So, you know, Page of Swords came out here. Before that, Page of Swords to me says like, don't be hasty, right, with your actions. But then the Page of Cups came out. You're intuitive. You know what to do. So even if other people look at you and they think like, oh, you're being a fool, it doesn't matter. You have your Page of Cups. You have the Page of Cups energy with you on this journey. You have your intuition with you on your journey. You are reflective. So you don't have to tell everybody what you think. You don't have to tell everybody everything that you think. You don't have to tell anybody everything that you're doing and why you're doing it. You don't owe anybody an explanation. And you shouldn't tell anybody, because a lot of times when you tell people everything that you're going to do, they're going to come in. And if you haven't learned this already, I think many of you have learned this. You know, people come in and they try to confuse you. Like they try to tell you like that what you're doing, or there's a better way, so that causes confusion. But you have your intuition and the Ace of Pentacles. What? Pisces. Yeah. Prosperity, power, opportunity. You are manifesting the life, you know, and this is justice. Spirit's like, here, Pisces. Don't worry about what anybody else has to say. Heal that part of you that thinks you have to work so hard, because you're going to have, and then, oh, this is what I just heard. Collaborations. You know, some of you out there may think, because this is a gift, right? And it's a gift from God, but that gift from God could be coming through other people around you, right? And so some of us are so much into that energy of you have to work hard, you have to do everything by yourself. Like, no, like you don't want other people to help you because you can do it yourself. This is a time you have your intuition. You have clarity. You have your intuition. You have the ability to think before you act as you go on this journey. Okay? And it's a balance. You have a balance because you have the Page of Swords, which is an action card, and then you have the Page of Cups, which is more of an emotion card. So you're between your actions and your emotions. This is balance. Your emotions and your action and your words are balanced. So you are able to your discernment is on point. You may have somebody, maybe you've had somebody that has made you an offer, right? And you thought to yourself, oh, I'm not going to take that offer because you know what? That offer, you know, they're probably, because you've been hurt before. You've done it. You've been in those situations before where people have come in, they've taken advantage, they have expectations. But let me tell you something. With you on this journey here, what I see is that if somebody's making you an offer that's going to make your life easier, of course, you need to think about it, right? Because nothing comes free. There's an equal exchange of energy that has to occur. But you are balanced enough to make that decision. But also, you're the Empress, right? You feel the energy. Don't be afraid to receive a gift. Only make, make decisions. If you're going to sign a contract with somebody, be balanced. Get an attorney, right? But don't say no to this gift because you're not used to not working hard. That's what it is. Sometimes we have a gift and we're like, oh, what? You're trying to make my life easy? It's really crazy to think that, but that's basically what we do. We say, oh, you're trying to make my life easy? Ooh, there's something attached to that. No, I think I'll keep working hard because, you know what, I could do this myself. And you're now in this stage where you don't need to do that anymore. This is you. This is you accepting a gift that somebody brings to you is you trusting yourself. It's not about trusting them. It's about trusting yourself and your intuition. That's the next step of this game. Is having these collaborations where you trust yourself, where you really say, okay, I've done this work. I believe I can make a decision that's not gonna bring me bad karma. Let's say that this decision will put you in your dharma, and that you know how to handle it, and you'll know what to do. Right? To make sure that whatever decision and whatever collaborations you make are of a higher vibration for everyone involved. That it's that gift brings justice for everybody, not just one person in the situation. Any other messages, Spirit, for Pisces? Okay, 7 of Wands. Of course, there's always going to be challenges, right? There's always going to be challenges. But you have all the tools. Spirit's saying you have all the tools you need to face your challenges, these challenges. Been there, done that. The Tower. Yeah. Somebody has a gift coming. Somebody's going to make you an offer that's life-changing. Don't miss this opportunity because you think you have to work hard. Don't miss this opportunity because you think you have to do it alone. Don't miss this opportunity because you're going back and replaying in your head what has happened before. It's time to trust yourself. It's time to trust your intuition. Okay, let's close this out. Let's close this out. That's the message. I'm going to pull an angel. I'm going to pull, before that, I'm going to pull 2. I'm going to pull a soul's truth card. Because I have, Spirit wants you to take an action. I want you to take an action too, but, oh, there, that one flipped around. Let's see. Am I willing? Are you willing? To me, that just says, I'm going to read it, but it says, to me, it says, am I willing to trust myself? Let's read what it says. You are on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? Yes, there is a risk, uncertainty, and imperfections ahead. Failure is certain, and vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself. What did I say? What did I say? This is the first time. I've never pulled this card before. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself in a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. Today's soul action. Be brave, follow your heart's compass, and lift the lid of your own dreams. Lift the lid on your own dreams. Today's mantra, it's possible. You know what? I knew Spirit had that message for you guys. You know, sometimes you get downloads, and sometimes those downloads are for you, right? But sometimes you get downloads, and sometimes those downloads are to share, because even though they might be for you, we are a collective, right? There's collective energy, so we all have things that we're going through that other people may be going through also. And that's why I started this channel, because you know, it's not, even though I'm still working on myself, I'm still working on, you know, through things, but I realize that there are other people out there, there are others like you, that are working through things also, and that, you know, if I have a download that I can share, that can help someone see that they're not alone, why not? Why not? And sometimes it's just a message that you need to hear. We're so stuck sometimes, and we don't realize we're stuck. Right? We don't. As you start to get unstuck, you start to find another spot in your life where you're stuck. But that's life, right? That's life's journey. All right. I'm going to pull an angel card for you. From here, I don't know. I forget who made, I think this might be Dorian somebody. But use loving strength and discernment. I love this. Page of Cups, Page of Swords. Use loving strength and discernment. I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. Galatians 1:10. All right. Exactly. You're here to please yourself. It's okay to collaborate. At least, if somebody brings you a gift, don't be quick to turn it down. Look at it. Draw up the paperwork. Look at the fine line. You never know. You don't have to sign it, right? Get an attorney to help you work out the kinks. I don't know. But I feel like somebody wants to give you something that is going to change your life. Don't miss out. All right? Because you don't trust yourself. Because that's what it comes down to, right? And if you look at all the paperwork and you go, okay, yeah, this is not for me, that's fine. But at least look at it. All right, Pisces. Thank you for joining me today. I love you. And let's keep weaving that dream. See you in the next one. And oh, by the way, hit that like button, subscribe. You know what? I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the love and the gratitude for joining me on this journey. I'm just here sharing my intuitive gifts with you, in hopes that it will make a difference in just even one person's life. All right, let's keep weaving that dream together. All right, see you in the next one.